All right. Welcome to your first content review in preparation for your SMA tomorrow or today if you're just watching it. So, your test today covers some basic stuff. It covers the differences between a chemical change and a physical change. But the first, it starts off with the properties. And so, I have up here a physical property. It is something that can be observed. Okay, so physical property, it must be observed, so you got to be able to see it. And a chemical property only can be observed when you are doing, okay, a chemical reaction. Okay, so if I add anything to acids or I burn it, then I can see how that particular substance reacts with these two things. I don't know how something's going to burn until I burn it. I don't know how something's going to react with acids until I do it. That's the difference. These can be observed without changing what it is. If I burn something, I'm going to change it. So that's the first part of the lesson. So one thing to keep in mind is what is it we're actually changing or we're manipulating or observing? Well, we're still manipulating or observing matter, which is constantly around us and is changing. Now, the only thing about this is that what type of change can we see? Whether it be physical, like inside with a rain, or would it be chemical, as if you're cooking your food? So the change isn't what we're saying isn't happening. It's we're trying to classify the type of change we're seeing. With a chemical change, the thing to remember is that we are going to form new substances. So if I cook an egg, if once the heat and the egg starts to cook, I guess, you can't revert this back into this. Once you bake a cake, you can't turn the cake back into batter. So the thing to remember about chemical changes is that they are permanent, okay? So what that means is that you can't go back. So whenever, oh man, writing this is terrible. Permanent. Ugh. Writing with his mouse is not good. Either way, so can't go back. It's a permanent change, and that's a wrap. Okay. So if once this car rusts all the way, we can't turn it, we burn it. The next thing to remember is that if you look at a chemical change in particular, there are some signs of it. And so one of the signs of a chemical change is that we can form what's called a precipitate. And a precipitate is a solid that forms after a chemical. So once again, we're making a solid from a liquid. The word solution means a liquid. And so we pour two liquids together, and now we got this white creamy substance or some hard yellow substance. But either way, you now have something that looks different and you can't go back. The next thing that would help you know as a chemical is that if you ever form a gas, we did this in class with the baking soda and the vinegar where the Ziploc bag got super hot, big. So if you make a gas from where there was no gas, that would be an indication. The next thing is the temperature change. Now with your temperature change, the temperature can go up or down. And so we looked at the word called endothermic. An endothermic reaction, the heat is absorbed so it gets colder. And an exothermic reaction, like with hand warmers, they create the heat that's released, and so the temperature goes up. Other things to look for can be light or heat being given off, a permanent color change, as you would see here with these jeans being acid wash, or the term tarnish, which is when a metal goes through a permanent change that's irreversible. So keep in mind that color change can sometimes be physical and chemical, but in this case, it's only referring to the chemical because it's permanent. If we're looking at our physical changes, here are some of the words to go on, and you can pause this and look at it. Anything to do with water, keep in mind that you understand that water can go from a solid to liquid and liquid to gas and so forth as a part of the water cycle. So a physical change, is one thing to understand that it is going to be reversible. And you may change the volume, you may change the density, you may change the shape of something, but it's not changing what it is. A ripped up piece of paper is still paper. A can that's being stepped on is still aluminum can. You may change its size, but it's still what it is. And so a physical change doesn't make anything new. So there's nothing new being made. Okay, that's the thing to remember about a physical change. So it doesn't make anything new. Bye, no new stuff. Okay, no new friends, no new friends. Yeah, that kind of stuff. All right. And with a chemical change, we know that we will make something new. One thing to keep in mind is that with a physical change, the only thing that won't change is the mass. Mass doesn't change no matter what. Chemical or physical, the mass always stays the same because matter cannot be created or destroyed. So your size can change, your shape can change, your color can change, but the matter, the atoms you are made up of, cannot be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Here's the slide we talked about. It's just a different way. So in the case of a chemical change, please look at this slide, guys. That's like half your test right there. And how to speed up reactions and slow it down. A catalyst or increasing the temperature will all speed up or slow down your reactions. So Ms. Lewis and I both went through your review in class, so I hope you guys paid attention. I hope you've watched this. This is a very short lesson, so it's a very short review. You can watch it over and over again because these are the concepts that we'll be testing tests. All right, have a good one.